All right, welcome back, mathematicians. It's Coach Bartos here with the third and final example for today. So this problem has a bunch of words. Let's see what it says. It says Mrs. Sanchez's favorite store is having a sale. The prices are reduced by 3/5, 25%, 37.5%, 7/10 or 0.7, or 2/3. Which list shows the price reduction from greatest to least? Okay, so this question is asking us to sort these numbers from greatest to least, or from biggest to smallest. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to rewrite all these numbers out here so you can see them better. So I had 3/5, I had 25%. Here, I'm going to put a little comma between each one. I had 37.5%. I had 0.7 or 7/10 or 2/3. All right. So I need to order these from greatest to least, or biggest to smallest. So remember, step one, we need to convert everything to decimal form. So I've got fractions, I've got percents, and then I've got this one that's already in decimal form. So we're good there. So let's convert everything else to decimal. So 3/5 is the same as 3 divided by 5, which gives me 0.6. All right, so right below that, I am going to write 0.6. 25%, I know I can move that decimal 2 times to the left and get 0.25, but if we're unsure, I can also take my percent out of 100 or divide it by 100, and it will convert it to a decimal for me. So 0.25, 0.25, 37.5%. Again, I can move this decimal 1, 2 times to the left, but if I'm unsure, I just go to my trusty calculator. 37.5, 37.5 divided by or out of 100 gives me 0.375. Right? So 0.375. All right. Next one is 0.7. That's already a decimal, so we are good there. 2/3, we've done that one before, but let's do it again. 2 divided by 3 gives me 0.66. All right, so I want to order these numbers from greatest to least, which means my biggest number needs to come first. Okay, now if you're unsure, okay, so we're dealing with decimals here. All right, go ahead and make your number line. So if I put 0, everything is in between 0 and 1, so I'm just going to put a big 1 out here. If I were to go negative, if I had any negatives, I know they would be to the left of 0. But I don't. They're all positive. So we're going to be dealing with anything between the 0 and this 1. So I've got 0.6, and I'm going to mark here where 0.5 would be. Okay, that'll be helpful for us. So 0.5 or 50 cents is half of $1. Here I've got 60 cents or 0.6. Right, so it's between 0 and 1. It's bigger than 0.5. It's probably, I'd say, I don't know, right here. And so our original number, actually here, I'll put the decimals down here. That was 0.6. And I'll put the original above it. So that was 3/5. That way you see both of them. All right. Next, we had 25%. So we converted it. It was 0.25. So it's not to 0.5. It's actually halfway, right? That's a quarter, right? So a quarter is 1/4 of $1. or 25%. So 25%. Cool. Next one, 0.375, which was 37.5%. So I'm going to start at 0. I'm going to go to the right because it's positive. Here's 0.25. I'm going to keep going. I'm not going to go to 0.5 because it's smaller than 0.5. It's 0.375. So we're just going to estimate, I'd guess, I don't know, it's probably about halfway in between 0.25 and 0.5. So that was 37.5%. And I am running out of space here. I'm just going to draw an arrow. That was 0.375. Make that decimal a little bigger. All right. Our next one was 0.7. It was already in decimal. We didn't have to do anything to it. So let's go ahead and place that on our number line. So I'm going to start at 0. I'm going to the right because it's positive. It's bigger than 0.25. It's bigger than 0.375. It's bigger than 0.5. It's bigger than 0.6. I'm going to keep going. It's not bigger than 1. So it's between 0.6 and 1, closer to 0.6. So I'm going to put it right about here. Okay, and again, we're just kind of estimating here. It doesn't have to be perfect. All right, and the original form, we didn't change anything. That was 0.7. All right, and then we've got one last one. It is 0.66, which was originally 2/3. So let's put it on our number line. So I'm going to start at 0. I'm going to the right because it's positive. It's bigger than 0.25. I'm going to keep going. It's bigger than 0.375. It's bigger than 0.5. 0.6. Is it bigger than 0.6? Yep. 0.7. Is it bigger than 0.7? No. It is in between 0.6 and 0.7. It's almost exactly halfway. It's a little closer to 0.7, but just barely. Okay. And I'm going to draw a little arrow here because I am way out of space. That was originally 2/3, which as a decimal was 0.66. Okay. So we want from greatest to least. So remember, if I'm looking at my number line, my greatest numbers are going to be to the right. My smallest numbers or least numbers are going to be to the left. So I need to start with my greatest number, right? Which was 0.7. So if I look at my answer choices, okay, I know that my greatest number is 0.7. So I can automatically eliminate B. It can't be B because it has to start with 0.7. So I'm down to A, C, or D. So my next number from greatest to least would be 0.66 or 2/3. So I need my answer choice to have 2/3 after 0.7. Well, let's see. Does this one have 2/3 after 0.7? Nope. So it can't be A. C does. And D does. So we have actually already answered this. I don't know why it's not letting me cross it out. There we go. All right, but let's check it just to make sure that we did, in fact, answer this correctly. So next would be 0.6 or 3/5, which is correct. Next would be 0.375 or 37.5%, which is correct. And then our least number or smallest number is 0.25, which was originally 25%. So our answer is